One of the saddest things about being young is how much power we give to other people's opinions. When you're in your 20s, it often feels like everyone is watching you. Your friends, your family, your colleagues, even strangers. Your family, your colleagues, even strangers.
You start believing something quietly dangerous. You believe your life is being judged.
So you adjust yourself.
You soften your dreams. You hide your true thoughts. You choose the safe path. Not because it is the life you want, but because it is the life that will receive the least criticism. And without realizing it, you slowly hand the steering wheel of your life to other people. Looking back now, after many decades of life, I can tell you something painfully honest. That was one of the biggest mistakes I ever made.
In my 20s, I didn't truly live my life. I lived the life I believed others expected from me. I chose a career that sounded respectable. Not because I loved it, but because people approved of it. When I had ideas that felt bold, I kept them to myself. Because I was afraid someone might laugh.
When I wanted to try something new, something risky, something unconventional, I hesitated. Because I imagined the judgment.
What will people think? That question followed me everywhere. I started designing my life around avoiding criticism. Caring too much about other people's opinions can quietly become a prison. Caring too much about other people's opinions can quietly become a prison.
Human beings are wired to want acceptance.
Thousands of years ago, rejection could mean danger.
But when you care too much about approval, you stop asking a more important question.
What do I think?
I remember a moment that changed my perspective.
Finding peace of mind starts with defining your path, ultimately leading to a stable career.
At that time, I had done many of the things people expected. I had a stable career. And one day, I ran into someone I hadn't seen in years.
We talked for a few minutes.
Then they said something that stayed with me. They said, "I always thought you would do something more adventurous with your life." I was surprised, because in my mind, I had spent years trying to meet expectations, trying to avoid judgment, trying to make sure people approved.
And yet the truth was shocking. People weren't nearly as invested in my life as I imagined.
They had their own worries, their own struggles, their own dreams.
And suddenly a painful realization appeared. I had spent years adjusting my life for an audience that wasn't really paying attention.
Here is one of the most liberating truths in life. Most people are not thinking about you nearly as much as you think. They are thinking about their own problems, their own fears, their own futures.
When you walk into a room and feel like everyone is judging you, most people are actually wondering if they themselves are being judged. It is a strange human paradox. We are all worried about the opinions of others. And in that cycle, many people spend years of their lives living cautiously, holding back, avoiding risk, hiding who they truly are. Caring too much about other people's opinions slowly shrinks your life. You stop exploring bold ideas. You stop taking risks that could lead to meaningful experiences. And one day you realize something sobering. You spent too much of your life asking for permission. The people who build the most interesting lives are usually the ones who ignore judgment.
Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner.
One day, many years from now, you will look back on your life and ask yourself a simple question. Did I live the life I truly wanted? Or did I live the life I thought others expected from me? Did I live the life I truly wanted? Or did I live the life I thought others expected from me? So be bold. Be curious. Be willing to look foolish sometimes.
So be bold. Be curious. Be willing to look foolish sometimes.
Because the most interesting lives are rarely built by people who were trying to impress everyone else.
When you stop living for approval, you begin living for possibility.
If you want more life lessons that most people only understand too late, subscribe to this channel.